always afford to rebuy. If you kill 3, that's when things get a bit hairy, and the T's can keep the CTs within 1 of savings. At this moment, Astralis up now 2-0. They maintain the 3 alive. They upgrade a couple of guns, and they've got some money left over in the bank. Saw will try to net a bomb plant if possible. They've upgraded just P250s in this moment. And I think the biggest travesty of all of that this round was the fact that they couldn't get the ball to that. Snappy now pushing out, getting a lot of information, but the information is not worth the price of his life. He ends up dying. The fast flank is here, but with his teammate dead, U3 is now in a precarious spot. He does not want to fall, but he won't. He's got 3 kills with this SMG. Oh my god, the ace! All ready to kick things off. U3, fantastic plays by him, and again, if he dies, 3v5 instantly. His Snappy's dead on the inside. They can push to inner or outer, and both sides can be relatively weak. A really, really rough start here for Saw, as Dupree just lines him up and knocks him down like bowling pins. Fantastic work from him with this MP9. That is just beautiful. And again, one of the only silver linings for Astralis in their match versus NIP a little bit earlier. So we're getting positioning here to set up to the outside. Smokes, there are CTs crossing throughout outside, trying to recollect some information, trying to reclaim some information, I should say. Magic in front of the sandwich smoke, kind of behind behind blue, looking to make sure nobody's in Olaf. This is the kind of thing you need to do on CT side when teams throw this first layer exec, and Device opens up the round for Astralis in total with his lock frag. Try peek down ID. No chance for our man back there. This leaves Saw in a very tough spot. So how do they make up ground now? They are going to move out through a box hall. They've still got presence at Ivy, which I really appreciate. Sometimes teams, when they get thinned down in a lead like this, they jump too quickly to trying to pull out lurks. In this case, it feels like Saw are looking quite composed and are still thinking about how to carefully approach map control. You know, no team is perfect, especially not Astralis at the moment, and they should always hold up hope that they can force Astralis to make a mistake. So, just going to try to get some of that information. Unfortunately, kind of one of the best ladder players, and one of the worst threats they can actually have in a fight. Man, he is doing so much work. Those are the 2 frags that'll really wrap this up. Matt just chimes in as well, finally getting his kill on Olaf, leaving just to work this out for the seems like this time limited Device. Begins the round and ends it. Eagle kill to his name. And it's a tough spot because on one perspective, you come into the game expecting to lose, you're going to play scared, and if you play scared, you play predictably. If you play predictably, you will lose. And that's what Astralis are hoping. On the other hand, if you rush too often, you maybe give up chances to get kills, which keeps rounds close, which ultimately breaks down the CT economy, but you've got to have this balance between both to be able to have an overall sustainable path to victory. And so Saw need to make sure they keep the tempos changing throughout this half, even if they are a little bit nervous. That's some great damage here, as you can see by the new exactly how much damage is dealt from those nades and Device. Another opening off frag, opening op frag, and Magic Boy as well will combine in tandem with that kill to make this round look pretty good here for Astralis. Yugi is a next line of defense at the top of Ivy. He's been relegated to the Falmus. Great grenades come with the jersey, I guess. He drops one at the back of Ivy. It does one hell of a lot of damage. And there is a boost up on Ivy, just preying on the thought that Yugi might overextend. Just a bit too much. And look at this. Device, he's in the box halls. He's got an AWP. He's looking to push, potentially. And Muterus, does he know what's coming? Oh my god, do his op senses tingle enough? Uterus. Instant Tech 9 headshot as you see the little T-cap pop up at the bottom of his scope. That is quite a funny sight. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And Muterus now in a 3v3 situation with an op recovered does make this a precarious spot for Astralis. They've rotated everybody inside. Yugi is playing flex in the Z, thinking about how to assist with the ladder cross. And Snappy looks like he's done believing that it's inside. Just in time for Saw to actually rotate out. He'll also get a kill from his new position in Ivy. And yeah, this is where things could potentially go from bad to worse. I think the op is in the right hand, so maybe Muterus he can make a case for himself. But no, it's going to be Snappy to grab all three. Comes off the back of fantastic rotates from Astralis to adjust by going from inside to outside. They have a good read on the situation at all times, and it feels like they're following Saw no matter where they're going. In that moment, they had the rotate inside with 3. As soon as Saw said, okay, let's not go inside, it might be a bit obvious, Saw went back to ladder, back to T-Con, and Astralis were right there waiting for them at every single turn. So they're definitely playing a good read game right now. Astralis instantly on fire with a quick 5-0 start into this match. Now Dupree dropping the nade into the back of T-Con. Yugi pushing up box halls with the AWP. Fire lands at his feet. Ooh, player goes flying across Device's screen, and the badminton reactions are not quite enough to be able to catch that kill. So Dupree here as the forward man outside. This is a mercenary. He's always alone. He's going to be in ladder sometimes. You can't always expect to get traded, but you want to put one of your best fraggers. Entry fraggers are great here. We know Fur famously has championed this position, Dupree as well, and these are, you know, players that are going to consistently win fights, and that's kind of all you want. You know, players who don't expect help. They aren't the needy. They're kind of like self-activating units of destruction. Dupree, he's going to get the first kill off of an assistance flash, drop a Molotov to push them back, deny information, but it looks like he doesn't want to just deny information. He wants to get some information for himself as well. However, Roman will punish him for that peek, and this opens up the round a bit more for Saw. Device, wow, that was a chance to take out Just if he had been there just a moment sooner. Yugi can't trade in this situation and actually push the CTs back a little bit, and the two new guys on the team, Snappy and Yugi, are going to try to perform some kind of retake. No, seems unlikely. Instead, they'll just go for what'll clearly be the save. Yeah, so this round really rested on a knife's edge on a couple of those kills. I think, you know, following Dupree throughout the entire round would have told you that Astralis were doing quite well. He got the info on ladder, the first kill in T-Con, a lot of map control in T-Con. Maybe he pushed that to the limit a little bit, overextended in T-Con to die. You know, maybe on another day he definitely hits that shot. It's hard to say. But then you combine that with Device dropping his op kill in the Ivy, and you say, okay, well, you know, we've got a real round here. And I think it all comes because of Saw's persistence at keeping multifaceted levels of map control. Always keeping attention at Ivy, which is a thing that teams shy away from too often, to fighting back into T-Con just in case there may be a push. And I think that needs to be underscored, that it is a highlight of Saw's play that they're making sure to have a very layered attack on Train. And of course, because this is a best of one, we're always going to see a map that both teams are likely to want to play. And for Saw, I guess we can see why. So what happens now? We've got the fourth man set up outside. The first tier executes, as we can see on the mini map outside, to deny any information in front of Sandwich. But the counter smoke plus the push up is able to kind of counter the potential of that Sandwich smoke from the T side and force Saw to now look for info somewhere else. There's been a lot of slow rounds here for Saw, and that's a bit worrying. You know, Astralis, they're going to hold on to grenades a lot longer. As we can see, they've still got 3 incendiaries left over. Dupree still has a smoke. They've got 3 or 4 smokes in total, and that means that when Saw do decide to execute, they have a high potential to get counter grenaded. So I think the one thing I would say for Saw is they probably want to be a bit more unpredictable, or at least feign presence. You know, throw some more utility in the early round to bait out the Molotovs if possible, to bait out some of the smokes that you of course only get to carry one of, and from there move into executes. But now the smoke down at Ivy with 40 seconds remaining, Magis is going to have eyes trained on it like a hawk, holding down this spot. There's not a friend here to help him out. Yuki is on the other side of the smoke. First kill will not go his way. A great opening frag from Uterus. Yugi drops his smoke defensively to help him out. Movement around the ladder to get new lines of sight. He goes up top. It takes out Sidodo, and that puts him in a great spot and his team in an even better spot. They can't make progress outside. It all comes down to Yugi's hold.
Damn, man, your play-by-play is getting better, Mohan.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for joining.
Can you hear me, buddy? Yeah?
I
Hey,
can,
bud.
yes. Okay.
How's it going? I heard you say, you know, Yugi doesn't have a friend to help him out here, and I figured that would be my cue. So,
Yeah, that was
hello,
my cry for
everybody.
help. That was my cry for help. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, hey, man.
7 rounds deep, I see. Looks like Astralis' match versus Saw is going a little bit better than it did versus Nip. I am ready to catch up with what I've missed. Take me through it.
Okay, so basically, Astralis have been doing all the regular stuff, and Saw have been moving fairly slowly throughout the round. Device has gotten 3 opening picks, including this round. So far this match, all of those have resulted in the round win. And so Astralis are doing a great job of holding grenades, and there hasn't been much trouble. A lot of what you'd expect, I think, from this matchup.
Ooh, all right. Well, Snappy, damn, gets himself 2 kills on the bottom of ramp, and then also the assist for the deep grenade coming off of Device. Stododo can't do much more than that, though. Yugi's gonna counter-op him. Astralis to the 7th. Damn, they kept all of their grenades as well. The money's looking good for Astralis. Seems like I've come into a very one-sided affair. Great time for a pause.
Yeah, let's stop and talk about this. So is there anything to add, really? I mean, I think, yeah, I think they're playing a bit too slowly, but one thing that's really cool, you know, Saw are gonna play Train. One thing that's cool is that they are giving a lot of love to all choke points on the map. So they're, you know, there's a lot of Ivy presence there's a lot of Ivy presence, a lot of T-Con presence, a lot of ladder presence, a lot of box halls, people, and it feels like they are kind of keeping everything in check all the time. And I think the one round they won, it wasn't an eco round, but they did come close on one of the eco rounds. Dupree had an ace with an MP9.
That's kind of impressive.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, it was not bad. I mean, if he died, they probably would have lost the round. So it was really a it was his Mission Impossible moment. 7-1, the inescapable scoreline.
Back over towards B, it seems, but Device is posted. One of those 2 ops, right? Oh my god, he's just gonna burn inside of it. Oh, down to the 20 HP mark, but still able to fade back. I mean, that just screams to me he's hungry to find this opening pick. Arky's going to creep inwards. 1 body shot anywhere with that Desert Eagle is going to take Device down. So, I mean, this is a duel that never looks favorable until you've got this sort of a situation. Snappy, he's able to peel off 1. Device on the high ground, still looking to find a little bit of impact, but losing Snappy and being on 20 HP, he realizes he is in a really tough position. His rotators aren't necessarily that close just yet. Yugi trying to rattle off the op, but they've gotten their bomb plant. They're staying 4 alive. There's that M4 over on Roman as well. Now they decide to go for their peak, almost lining up the bodies. Device, he takes more damage, but he's still so low. Here's the peek up from Just. Tech9 down on 2. And Dupree has to clutch this. Smoke on top of the bomb. He could just drop the flashbang if he wants to serve as an insurance. Oh my god, he took it.
Oh my god, he actually won that. He was just a hair away from getting stabbed in the back. That is such a rough round to lose. They end up getting into the site, getting all the kills they need to. 2-on-1 situation. Lots of time left over. Dupree doesn't even trade anyone, just jumps on it. Oh my goodness. Dupree beats his chest. Sometimes he looks like Donkey Kong, and it was so funny. Theme music, actually, after they won a major. That's his favorite.
I guess that's,
oh, wow.
It's the secret, perhaps. Arky and Just, bunch of kills over towards the B site, running that bomb down the ramp, already trying to get it in. And all the while, we have to worry about this lurk. It's gonna be a big issue. Out of Z, perhaps, could come Just. Device looking deep, trying to find this op shot to connect, but he's all on his own now. He's very wary of the flank and just walks away. Almost unfair what they're doing to Device right now. He takes to the high side of the train, looking for the deep angle, looking for the pick that could get him into this, but I think he's starting to realize this one is too far gone. He's just gonna have to give it up. He's so desperate for something, but they give him nothing. Playing with Device.
Obviously a great move to rotate very quickly. Even if it's hurt to the back of ladder, there's not much Device can do there to guarantee the kill. One thing they do grab is the 4 frags and also drop the op in that closing moment. So it's a nice win for Device to be able to stand in the site as it explodes and just to shave off any little bit of economy that he can grab. But yeah, he gives it. Oh, here's some roaring fans. Yo, this is the ultimate Zoom call right here. I love this.
Look at them go. Bunch of Zoomers, just as loud as they were in Portugal last time we stopped by. I am not surprised to see them showing up in full force.
So Saw, I mean, do they have a chance? They won that round. It was a bit too close. They're doing a lot more of the same so far, but the trades are getting a bit better. So I would like to hold out some hope. I think based on what we've seen, there could be potential for a little bit of a closer half. That's a good opening kill for Marky, and the trade will come in. Snappy goes down 1 for 1, but Dupree immediately comes up the ladder. But Magix ends up getting killed. I mean, this flank, it's worth its weight in gold, but not if you don't have teammates to cause a distraction. And the bomb goes down middle. Sight Muterus takes out Dupree.
You said it. You said it perfectly. If you don't have those teammates to cause a distraction, it's not going to be as impactful. And you saw Dupree get checked just before he was going to stop the bomb planter by Muterus, who was moving forward, saw nothing ahead of him, figured why not check that flank. And sure enough, he sniffs out Dupree. That was going to hurt because this could have been Astralis stopping the bomb. It would have given Yugi a chance to play more individually, and maybe they claw into it. But hey, we're starting to see something happen here. Saw 2 rounds in a row, getting the score up to 8-3. It's still not their map, but it's better.
Yeah, very well said. It's definitely better, and it comes down to, are Astralis going to continue to take these aggressive options early on and give them a chance to get into the round, or do they want to try to tighten things up and play the longer con situation? So I think that's what it comes down to for Astralis. But as for Saw, because they spread out in their default, the one-tap camera, it looks just like the Forest camera. It was almost the exact same fight, which is just wonderful. So, yeah, it comes down to how Astralis want to play. Are they going to push up again, or are they going to play back and let the round draw out into the 5v5? I feel like, from what we've seen from Astralis, now that Dad's not home, the way that Magis has been calling has been a lot more faster paced. Maybe more on the aggressive side. Maybe that's to ease up a little bit and to allow the players to be more in a more comfortable space. And of course, limited practice time between the 5 that we're seeing on your screen. But I think, as far as I'm concerned, anything can work if they do it well. Here on this round, Yugi has an AWP, but everybody else has just the pistols to work with. And Saw still are just going to make sure that they aren't employing one of their aggressive options one more time. It's this exchange of information in the T-Con, as we're so used to seeing, and Muterus seems aware of that fact as well.
Just waiting him out. Just playing it patient, and now he activates. Clearing Dupree up close and personal. And we're going to watch Astralis start to scramble here, trying to get those players back into the A site, looking to find some impact with the little that they have. And Yugi, well, he's already bagged the first one, so there is this tantalizing chance. Device with the deagle. Another kill off the frag grenade from Snappy. It's turned back to the man advantage, and Arky's looking for the frags up close. He's getting this pressure. He's feeling the heat, and can't quite connect his shots. Now he's dropped the bomb, and Muterus is going to have to do everything. Essentially a 1 versus 3. 7 seconds left over. He has to go, and he knows.
Wait a second.
Yugi just jumps across, and the time comes back to bite him. Astralis win the round.
My goodness, within just 1 bullet, he was so close. There's a couple of rounds here, including the pistol round, that you weren't fortunate enough to see, where it came down to such low HP. There was actually great entries once again, but yeah, just these last waning moments and an amazing deagle shot from Device to ice him out. We could see him jumping away. That is so crazy how close he got to being able to win that.
Yeah, part of me can't believe that Yugi jumped over. I mean, he had two options. Either he stays into the close corner knowing that the last player is coming for him and just tries to hit the op shot at like the 1 second mark, or he guarantees that he can at least run away, but gives the chance of getting killed midair there. An unbelievable gull there from Yugi to make the play, but hell, it works. Astralis, 9 rounds, 6-point lead, back in control, so it seems. Full double op setup, but Arky solo. Oh no, there's a second next to him. That is the bomb. And it doesn't want to go downward, seeing as Device picks up the first kill.
Maybe they were trying to bait the Z player into outside, and if they were going to spot no one there, they could have walked out. That could have potentially been the plays. They had some Ivy presence, but Device, yeah, they didn't have a reason to rotate, I guess, because Astralis were fine with their forward A control and weren't so concerned with what was going on in Ivy at all.
More kills being exchanged here. Magisk able to pick one up through the side of the smoke, and Yugi, well, he's a little pressured in this situation. So good job by Device to come over and alleviate one of the problems, but just goes down. Roman answering up in the box halls. I mean, he's the bomb carrier at the end of the day. And he can make this clutch play if he wants, but there's a player beneath him. They've got all the info, and he doesn't really have a way out, no matter where he heads.
Yeah, he's definitely, yeah, he's a cat in the corner at the moment, being painted in, and the Device will stand in the same spot that he opened the round to close it out. So again, it's another easy round, you know, you'd say, for Astralis. The default wins. It's an aggressive, sneaky play from Saw that tries to work out. I think where they're missing a few layers is sometimes it's just striking a balance, as I talked about a little bit earlier, between going fast and doing things slow in their default. And I feel like Astralis, they're really gelling well with the fact that Saw are taking slight risks, but without any kind of serious potential for a fake, and Astralis are just not biting on any of the small bits of presence that they're making on other parts of the map. I feel like Saw, it would be great if they maybe committed a bit more seriously to some of their fakes, but that's a great shot. I mean, Device, yeah, he doesn't even stand a chance. Instant AK headshot down the ramp. Two players have rotated in behind them. Saw on these spots have decided to rocket back. They almost never act on their opening kill, and I think it looks like this time around they do commit down after a slight delay. Snappy, he's in a position to get a kill, but yeah, between the two flashes, he gets off.
One from Dupree. Bombs drop. Really no chance at all here for Arky. Smoke's going to fade, and he's going to have that little bit of an element of surprise, but trade frag, as expected. Astralis to the 11th. I mean, one more to go, and Saw, they desperately want this fourth one.
Nothing would mean more. Nothing would mean more. What is the buy? They've got enough money to buy all the Blast merch that you could dream of. Okay, over at shop.blast.tv. They could get every size and every color with the amount of money that they have. And I can't think of a better way to spend your money.
Spend it all. Who needs savings when you've got swag? Roman, back in from the ladder room. Oh, he finds a back turned in Device. That's curious. You would have thought that Dupree could have had that covered from the trains. I mean, you see the grenade come in just a moment after, so they're going to be looking at a way to recuperate the kills. And Dupree in from the corner. Poor Muterus. He walks right by the smoke, goes unchecked, and immediately we have Astralis back in with a man advantage. Magisk looking to single out Just, but the Galil, of all things, bests the M4. He is lucky to be alive. They are lucky to be even 3v3, but they're also not committing off of anything just yet. Saw gonna go back at the bomb, take their time. They've got a minute.
We saw they tried a walk down ramp contact play in the past when they were high on numbers. This would maybe be a better situation to try it. They know that number one, Device is dead, and he was a Z-Flex rotator, and they don't know if anybody else would try to refresh his position or be as static down the A ramp as we saw in the past. So it looks like they are taking their attention over towards the B site. We'll see where the focus is, if it's towards the lower ramp or towards upper. And it'll put a lot of pressure on Snappy, who's deciding to play passive. It looks like Astralis are going to concede the site if they do decide to come in and maybe play for retake. So probably a good move here from Saw.
Back behind the oil tankard, Snappy pushing up, and they haven't seen this Roman, oh, he does look down, and he's going to get snappy. This is that man advantage they'd be hoping for. Yugi looking for the flashbang, looking for the exit, looking to create that space to move outwards, and he's not going to find it, so they swap the op over. This is going to open up Yugi. Let's see how his rifle work pans out. He has been impressing us, but he's off caught by Roman, peeking out for the headshot, leaving it all on Dupree. He's got nothing to lose here. He's got to play desperate. He's just going to sprint in as these terrorists undoubtedly take their 4th round. So, Saw doing enough of a T-side to help us believe in that defense. Damn. Giving it up just in order for them to have that grain of thought, that chance in CT side.
Graças a Deus não nasci. Luís.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are kicking off the decade here. Not every day you get to say that. With the Blast Premier Spring Series. We do have the very best in the business, the best in the world competing here.
Just take initiative and we're gonna win, alright?
Let's go.
Okay, boys, let's close this shit out.
Let's go.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's a hell of a shot. Ooh, a second from the lead. 15 seconds on the clock. He turns around and the bomb goes out. Oh my god, the 180. Let's go. Another kill. This should, by all means, be absolutely impossible here for MIBR. This should be the end of the road here.
Siri, who is the easiest target?
Cold. Oh, he does still have the AK Cold with everything to do, just popping noggins. He cleared 3 bodies and the 4th.
Let's go, brother.
Let's go, guys. Let's close this out. Let's go.
Tickets booked to the spring finals.
The final day here of Group A.
Liquid gonna end up winning in overtime, 19 to 17. I want you guys to get real pumped. It's the last series of this first weekend.
Go, boys. Have a party to go. What?
He's got 14 bullets in the magazine. Half the clip is gone. He peeks wide, and that's it. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, Spring Series Week 1 comes to a close. Higher seating and a fat stack of cash for FaZe Clan.
Don't put me live.
Hello, everybody. We are back with the second half. We've got an 11-4 half, a 19-kill half for Mr. Dupree. He has been fantastic today, and the only man from SAW just to get over 10 kills is just. He's done it. He's broken that margin, and we could see the impact on some of those rounds. He was doing a great job with the trades, and saw they came close to winning a few of these rounds. I think it's surprising to see that the half was only 11-4 considering the pistol and other things, but already into this one, the T side is looking very strong. This rush is furious, but we've got Arky from up top to take down 2 and lure a 3rd into the site. The bomb's going to commit over now. Magisk comes through with a fantastic trade from long distance. Very unfavorable spot for him with the Glock, and there is a significant amount of map control for the T's here to work with. The CT's in a very rough spot, just doesn't know that Snappy's here, and there's also the flank through Z, and things go from bad to worse as the CT's drop like flies, but Sedodo has gotten himself on the defuse. 2 seconds left over. Dupree trades him through the smoke, and he turns his 19 kill half into 21 as we move right into round 16. Well, would you look at that? That is a pretty smooth start into the second half for Astralis, and it's another head scratcher for Saw. Really sad to see because they had so many things go well for them in that pistol round. Once again, the bait into the back of sight by Arky, pulling the bomb here to commit. But then the answer back from Dupree to come around from Z. And of course this man, the closer, is going to be able to get the last kill on top of everything else. And Saw will have to decide now if they want to force up into the execute. And sometimes, if you don't laugh, you will cry. As we can see from our men on the screen, Dupree looking very animated as usual. Astralis, we saw them buy majority SMGs in the first and second round. Second and third round in the first half. Probably expect more of that into this one. As for Saw, what an eco strat can be is a question mark. They have enough to get scouts. What we normally see on Train, of course, is the 2 scout buy that is complemented well with a couple of deagles, maybe a CZ, and some nades. And the potential, of course, is very high if your scouts get a couple of tags. If your scouts get a couple of tags, everyone's within 1 shot. It's the great equalizer, really, these scouts. So it'll come down to if Astralis will spend too much time getting scouted or if they can do a good job of finding exploitable spots without exposing themselves to these dastardly scopes. And here's a replay from that second round that we were just talking about. Dupree with the MP9, grabbing an ace, snagging an ace. And another one of these tragic situations where the bomb diffuser narrowly escapes, and it seems to be Dupree is kind of has run a series of tragedies in favor of Astralis and against Saw in that first half. So many counts of it, and yeah, it's a shame to see. It's a tough pill to swallow. We run this game back, I really think we'd get a different score line in favor of Saw. Maybe not 12-4 in favor of Saw, but maybe more like a 9-6 in favor of Astralis. Definitely a couple more rounds, I think. I feel like Saw could have definitely gotten. So we've got a tech pause called, of course. We want to just make sure that everybody, the competitive integrity of the game is maintained by making sure the servers are all right, everyone's very comfortable. And although the production has been fantastic at this event, and it looks like a LAN, these guys are definitely playing online. And so we want to make sure that they have the right server so everyone feels good and can hit shots. This Astralis lineup, it's a very interesting one. I think the most interesting and weird part is that, Snappy and Esatag both came from Heroic, but I think maybe Esatag, because he is still a player for Heroic, he can't play at this tournament, but I would have anticipated Esatag to be playing in place of Snappy, considering there is some IGL overlap here between him and Magisk, who I don't think is given the reins over just for this match alone. Now we look at the blast scores of the team lineup as it stands. Of course, Tom Cruise with 92, 8 shy of an A+ grade, and pretty much everybody else is very consistent. And I think the real magic of Astralis is the fact that in most maps in their history, in their big wins, almost everybody has a 0.7 or better KPR, and I think that is the hardest part for any newcomers to try to fill the shoes of. To have an average of a 0.7 to 0.8 versus every top team, I think is the real difficulty. I think there is definitely in a conversation about how Astralis are ultimate tacticians and do a lot of great grenade damage. And we've got the Who's winning the best Zoom background? Well, I mean, we've got a guy upside down with the
he's
Ghanaian,
rotating.
Funeral meme behind him. Yeah, and he's spinning. We've got a handmade MS Paint Danish flag.
Whoa. Look at them all.
Credit to
Look at them all,
Handmade.
Mohan.
Yeah, that's at least 40,000 people here in the Zoom call.
Seems like it. I'm curious to see just how creative we can get throughout this event in terms of our fan cams. I have high
Yeah, I
expectations.
mean, we can leave
I'm
it to
not
the
gonna lie.
fans. Yeah, we can leave it to the fans to get creative. We can watch how creative they can get. I mean, we don't even need Blast to get creative. People are already going to start off on day one with Zoom backgrounds like that.
You know, you just gotta. What is it? You gotta build the circuses, and they will come. And that's kind of what we've done here. We've given them the template, we've given them the platform, and now they are going to perform. I am.
Connor, did you just turn the phrase "if you build it, they will come" into "if we build the circus"?
Something about circuses, yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
know.
I'm trying to keep up, okay? I'm trying to keep up here, mole man. I do that often. I think you know, I think it's something I've just got to start embracing. It used to be, what was it? It was back against the wall and against the ropes. Became back against the ropes. That was always a guilty
Which, hey, it
pleasure
happens
of
in
mine.
boxing. It happens in boxing, so that's okay. But yeah, we had ungodlike most recently. Not godly, not ungodly, but ungodlike.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, it's
Muter is
it's
looking
whatever
extra
very
short.
specific part of my brain just doesn't seem to make those connections. You know, it's not my
I think
fault.
it's charming.
Don't blame me.
I like it. Okay. Muterus, yeah, he's looking like no neck Ed right now. No neck Ed, Muterus, right here, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who get it, you know.
Maybe he's impossibly short. You know, like 4'6".
Yeah. Imagine if you were somehow so short that you couldn't take a photo. Like there's no camera that had a tripod that could go low enough for you. That's Muterus.
8-14 though, that's a rough one. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Saw coming into the server, I knew that they'd be punching upwards, but I kind of had my high expectations set on Roman and Muteris, and that's not what we've gotten so far. It wasn't the hard carry we've seen in the past.
No, it's true. He's kind of the first name that you recognize, but of course, Astralis have 5 that everybody knows. So that's the tough part. Round differential. The NIP leading the score table, +9 in rounds, and that is of course versus Astralis.
Damn, big pickup for them.
Certainly, there is some
Clearly
kind
Astralis
of
doing a little
round
bit better.
differential from the other. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. EU Group B standings. We're taking a look at this. Mad Lions pull it through versus Fnatic on Mirage. The Mousesports end up winning a game. Mousesports been a mixed bag for them. It's hard to say. I feel like the team couldn't even predict their matches at this point. The team themselves.
Good to see Mousesports with a little sign of life, however. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it was things was turning to the dark side for Mousesports. So a victory is a victory. Now we can see his neck.
Yeah, he has one. Yeah, I know he has one. He is definitely a little bit shorter, but not significantly shorter, like it was made to seem in the profile pictures. Like, there are tripods that are short enough for Muterus. I don't think he's too short to be able to take a photo of, like it was made to seem in the profile pictures earlier.
I think it's fair to also have our Portuguese team down here in the 70s in terms of ratings. You know, it's not inflated just because they qualified for the main event. I like to remind everybody that that these guys, you know, had to defeat opposition even to have a chance, and then their first chance to show us their talent is versus Astralis, and not any Astralis, but an Astralis that's coming off of an upset and probably wanting to change the narrative. So Dupree very much, you know, connecting those shots, turning heads, rolling eyes. But right back into the action, folks, okay? Problem solved. And our game is underway. Astralis still very much in control, and Saw are just going to go for the absolute total hard save. They want as much of a chance in the few feeble gun rounds that they'll get. And I respect that.
As do I, Connor. As do I. So yeah, they're. I'm actually also a little bit surprised that they didn't. I mean, we normally see teams buy in this spot, but yeah, best chance to win, I guess. Oh my gosh, and now, are they regretting that they didn't overinvest? Because the USP is to chime in on these kills. There's 3 left in the CTs. They're all in pretty decent spots. They are taking spots of damage here, and the smokes are maybe pushing them into their death. But yeah, they actually came so close after those first 2 kills. You're like, oh man, maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe we should have invested all the way. Maybe we should have got. We should have got
armor, maybe a flashbang to even throw out to what was left there, because I mean Astralis, they didn't try to make it overly technical once they had lost those first couple of kills. They just continued on the same trajectory, they continued outwards on the same path, and well, you see it here at the end, just shooting the feet from beneath the train yard. So one flashbang comes out of Z, everybody's blind, maybe the counter terrorists are able to force them to scramble, but none of that made possible by just the straight up vanilla save. But the whole beauty of that round was, of course, to transition into this. Tons of weapons, tons of grenades, and yet still Snappy's able to open up towards this B bomb site. He just fires down the ramp, gets his opening pick, and unfortunately for Saw, I think that the idea of saving these guns is already way too tantalizing for them to try and go for the retake. But even everything they have may not be moved forward. Magisk still lurking and finding at least one more.
Yeah, no, definitely not doing too bad in that position. So weird spot in the save. They are going to be hunted down. This could be quite a curious situation for the CTs, depending on how Astralis approach this. Down Ivy is probably what Saw wants the most. So maybe, yeah, Stododo is going to chime in, get an off frag, and decentivize them from going on the hunt. They'll have to eat tomorrow, not tonight. Not tonight.
Bomb pops off, 7 survivors. So, Saw, you have a very long, windy road of a comeback. Good for them, they kept that AWP. At the very least, you know, not even gonna have to just resort to straight up rifles. I'm very curious to see if they can employ it for that opening pick. But Magisk just being a nuisance here, not letting them get away with everything they'd hoped for. At the same time, reserved from Astralis. You know, they could have really tried to force the issue and cleared out all the weapons, knowing the impact that it would have had here in the follow-up. But they let it go by, and probably because they are still confident in this spot. Why wouldn't they be? A little bit of early grenade damage. Device hunting for an opening pick, but nothing to be found in the box halls.
That's true, yeah. The box halls are empty. There's nothing but inventory here. And yeah, but they are looking for bodies. Device popping off into a powerful position. Wow, they allow the T's to get a lot of ground here, not expecting this push. But it's the T's to also not expect the push from the CT side. Roman pops off with those 2 frags. 3-on-3 situation. It's actually not a bad spot for both teams.
Yeah, but Dupree, I mean, they're so far out from Z already. Maybe he wraps around this smoke. He's nervous. He's in a tough spot, but all the while, we do have Stododo pushing up onto the bomb site. Dupree behind them. He's going to turn his back, deals with the man on the bomb. Now looking for the last one, but just answers. And Magisk, he's going to have to finish out this round. He's going to have to secure Astralis, their 15th. He's got the flashbang to do it. He's still placed towards ramp. Just time burning down, and now he's gonna have to force the issue. Oh, and he eats it. Fully white, can't see a damn thing. Desperately gets on top of the bomb. He's gonna try to defuse, and Magisk is having none of that. 16th frag for Magisk, and a 15th round for Astralis.
You know, Dupree is a real two-way player, man. We've seen him be so fantastic on the CT side, and now he's transferring those skills over this way. A very valiant attempt there by Roman to come through when it felt like the entire site was compromised and get a little bit of extra damage in, but it's all consolation kills. Astralis find their 15th. Another one slips through their grasp just slightly, like they were trying to grab sand there. So sad for Saul. They touched it, but they couldn't hold on, and now they might be in a situation where they could lose 15-4, especially with entries like these. However, a trade back from Just means means there's still hope.
Some hope. Even for Roman, who's very much pinned in behind these boxes. Yugi's got him tagged up somewhat, but not looking to force the issue, Astralis. Seems like they want to collect their numbers. Device even trying to find this angle on the outer yard, but nobody giving him the shot he hopes for. Molotov to slow down any sort of a push. And Saw at least have some forward positioning here, not only inside of the ladder room, but also close on the exit of T-Con. Device, however, very good at doing exactly this, unraveling bomb sites, weaponizing patience, waiting for the time, but oh, the flash isn't good enough to get the kills. It's a great flashbang, but it's denied by Yugi. He saves it, grabbing himself that second frag. Stododo trying to now move away from the E-box. The wild MP9 spray just gets away from him, and Roman has to clutch this if they want to keep going, which he seems to, as he takes two and looks for that last one. Yugi, who saved them inside of T-Con, has to save them in the clutch, and he'll do exactly that. 16-14 for Astralis. They finish the map on fire.
On the list of things that you hate to see, that is at the top of them. The flash into T-Con, the close clutch attempt by Roman, and man, there was just a series of rounds that you saw that Saw had opportunities and almost closed it out, but just couldn't do it, and couldn't do it in succession.
Tough one indeed, but I mean, they knew what sort of incredible task they had ahead of them.